And feel safe. Okay. Good. People feel safe. Very, very high bar, fucking threshold, that. Hello there, televised mind. Hello there, potato salada. Hello there. What the fuck is that? Orif Nice to meet you. Hello, Josh Palmer and Zetai Mo. Very nice to meet you both. And I don't know much about Fontaine's DC. I know that was the most boring answer I could have given you. Let me find out. Let's see if I like Fontaine's DC. Fontaine's DC. Okay, already I'm looking at pictures of them. I don't like them. They look like just twatty little shits. That was such an useful term, I know. Twatty little shits. Really, really intelligent though. Any music recs? I don't know, what am I listening to at the moment? I've been listening to Damnation by Opeth quite a lot. That's a good album. I listened to that in full, and then I got to the end of it, and I just thought, I just want to listen to it again. And so I just listened to it again. I've listened to it quite a lot now. It's quite a good album. I've been meaning to do, I think it's Heritage as well by Opeth, which is like a bit like Damnation, but a bit more jazzy and maybe a bit more brighter and chirpier. I've been meaning to do that one as well. I just haven't got around to it. Oh yeah, I need to listen to some Fontaine's DC and decide if I like it. Okay. It's not what I was expecting. I was expecting like, you know, like Sex Pistols for the modern day, like the Idols. I was expecting that kind of thing. They still look like twatty little shits. Even though that's not a useful term, I don't know what to say about them. I'm not keen on the drum sound. You know that very big reverb-gated sound? Like the 80s sound. I feel bad actually, because, well, I don't feel bad, but I hear a lot of people chatting about how great Fontaine's DC is, and I've just come in and immediately just dismissed them because I don't happen to like it. Because their photos irritate me. They're just like pictures of them with these stupid sunglasses on, you know? I might as well just do that. You know, this is basically what they do. Oh yeah, hang on, where's the guitar? I'm in Fontaine's DC, and I'm a DCE, and I'm a Fontaine's DC, and I do not know where I'm going. It's not actually coming off this. Come off. Thank you. All right. Mauissimus says help. Why does he want help? What's wrong with him or her? Thank you very much, Ashley. Thank you for enjoying the music. I just thought I'd just bring this out, just because, like, in the quiet moments, I can kind of just go. Hi, Sunny. I really thought that was a Shell logo as your profile picture, Sunny. It looks exactly like that from a distance. Who's your favorite artist of all time? That's hard because it changes. If you'd asked me in 2017, I'd have said Pink Floyd. If you'd asked me in 2018, I'd have said Death Grips. If you'd asked me in 2019, I'd have said, I have no idea who I would have said in 2019. No one are worth, because I've forgotten. 2020, I would have said King Gizzard. 2021, I would have said like Noi. 2022, I would have said some random neo krautrock fucking band that no one's ever heard of. 2023, I would have said probably Loki, the rapper. 2024, I probably would have said Dream Theater, and 2025, I don't know. Pink, nah, not Pink Floyd. Who would I say is the best artist, my favorite artist? Nick Drake. I like Nick Drake, but I just don't feel I don't feel like I would say that he's my favorite one. You know what I mean? Like, I think he is maybe one of my favorites. 5 Leaves Left, I've listened to like dozens of times. I love that album, but at the same time, I couldn't replicate every note. I don't even remember what all the songs are called. American Analog Set are quite good. Who else? Oh, how are you supposed to know who your favorite artist of all time is? Like, who's your favorite artist of all time? What the fuck's your name? Quintel the Truth. What's your favorite artist? I've not heard of Maple Glider. What's a Maple Glider? I'm looking that up now to see what that is. Oh, it's a singer. I've not heard of her. She's Australian, and she plays guitar. She apparently was in a restrictive religious household, so it's an interesting backstory. Wait, Quintel is Frank Ocean. She's a bit young to be Frank Ocean. Frank Ocean is like about 15 years ago, wasn't he? He just looks like Kanye West, but like a nice version. Okay, now he doesn't. Now he looks like an evil Tyler, the Creator. Oh yeah, we didn't bother making any other albums, did he? Lazy. Oh, here we go. Maoismus. Do you read any books? And hang on, let me get a book that I'm currently reading. That I've kind of packed it in. Well, I haven't packed it in. I need to get back into reading it. On the Road, Jack Kerouac. I think I'm on like chapter 10 or chapter. Yeah, I think I'm on chapter 10. So that night I found Carlo, and to my amazement, he told me he'd been in Central City with Dean. What did you do? Oh, we ran around the bars, and then Dean stole a car, and we drove back down the mountains, curves 90 miles an hour. I didn't see you. We didn't know you were there. Well, man, I'm going to San Francisco. Dean has Rita lined up for you tonight. Well, then I'll put it off. I had no money. I sent my aunt an airmail letter asking her for $50 and said it would be the last money I'd ask. After that, she would be getting money back from me as soon as I got that ship. It's a good book. But to be honest, though, what I find weird in it, there's a scene in it where the main character, whose name I've actually kind of fucking forgotten, because he's just called I, you know, the whole time. He's just, I did this, I. So I've forgotten what his actual fucking name is. Right, so basically the guy who's I, right, the narrator of this, he takes this lad, Dean, all around Denver, right, in his car, or there's a third guy driving, and like I is along for the ride, and Dean is basically going from like apartment to apartment, just like fucking women, right? So he'll pull up outside one apartment, and Dean will get out, and then they'll wait in the car while Dean goes into the apartment and fucks the woman, right? And then he comes out of the car and they drive to the next destination. But what I'm thinking is, this is way too quick, right? Think about like how long you'd be sat in that car, the amount of time that it takes to have a one-night stand, right? And I'm just sitting there thinking, this isn't like, why, one, do you need to go off and have like 10 in one night, right? Wouldn't that hurt, right? But then second, he just keeps doing it. And there's just so many people in this fucking book that are just sitting around begging for fucking a good scene to. I've just gotten bored of it. I'm about 50 pages in, right? There's another 300 pages, right? Apparently, there's like 100 pages worth of Mexicans. Once the Mexicans come in, the Mexicans don't leave, right? And I haven't even got to the Mexicans yet. And I'm already bored of it because all he's doing. I liked the bit when he was traveling from New York to Denver. That was cool. There was a lot of cool stuff going on in there, right? I keep trying to send a super chat but having issues. Maybe I've disabled them by accident. I don't know if that's how it works. I don't know how any of this works. Show every message, including spam. There's no spam. Community moderation. There's no message delay. There's no option to... I don't even know how you would send a super chat. I don't even know what... I don't want to press any of these buttons because I don't know what they do. Retouch on. That's, you know, it's cleared up my wrinkles that I have so many of. I look the fucking same. Cyreniac. I'm going to look up what that is. Cyreniac philosophy. Were hedonists and held that pleasure was the supreme good in life, essentially physical. Yeah, this is because a mate, my mate, who I've known since college, who's a good friend of mine, he lent me this book. He asked me, like, what kind of philosophy are you interested in getting into? He wanted me to start reading philosophy, right? Because he's seen the YouTube channel go off and he knows I don't read, right? Which I need to start doing. So he was like, I'll lend you a book. What book are you kind of interested in? And I sort of said what kind of philosophy I want to get on with. And he said, Jack Kerouac. And I've read it, and it certainly is a representation, but I feel of what I feel in a lot of cases, but I feel like the hedonism is a bit too much. I feel like hedonism for the sake of it isn't good, but I feel like hedonism is somewhat of an, like, I'm having a look at a Cyreniacs thing right now, right? And it seems like they've got a decent balance of hedonism, right? I'm just going to finish my wee bit about the hedonism and stuff, because hedonism on its own, when it sort of is talked about, the stereotype of a hedonist is like, oh, I'm just going to take crack all the time because taking crack feels good, and I'm just going to sit and watch pornography all day and eat Cheerios, right? Okay, that makes you feel good right now, but in the long term, it doesn't make you feel good. Say you're a crackhead and you're eating Cheerios and watching porn all day, right? After a while, the magic of doing that has worn off. It's not a sustainable hedonistic lifestyle, right? It might immediately give you the odd bit of gratitude, not gratitude. What the fuck am I talking about? Pleasure, right? But as time goes on, it's not going to work. But so you need something that gives you pleasure, but needs to be sustainable, right? And generally, healthier lifestyles and ways of living are more sustainable than just becoming a smackhead and watching porn and eating Cheerios all day. So that's kind of my approach to it. Because I can't remember all the different types of hedonism. I mean, I agree with some of the aspects of Stoicism. I just feel like hedonism and Stoicism are two sort of diametric opposites, right? In a simplified sense. And it's important to take little bits from both, because if you are just pure focused on, this ideal for your future and you're sacrificing the present for the sake of that, you're going to get to the point where you achieve your ultimate future, but you will have had no idea how to enjoy it because you've spent so long just in pure work mode, right? And I know that because I'm basically a workaholic, right? I'm not like I'm a lazy workaholic, realistically. Right? But at the end of the day, I think it's important to try and find that balance between enjoying life and putting your current pleasure on hold so that you can fulfill fulfillment in the later stages of life. So that's kind of my bit on philosophy. I'm just going to go. I'm going back up. Thank you, AK Ashley, for the super chat. Means a lot for the support and stuff. Whereas I feel like I went way too far. Hang on, I'm coming back. Okay, good day, Mr. Jonny Mozza. What's your opinion on the paradox that digitally recorded mastered music is released as vinyl records? Let me have a look at my vinyls. Hang on, what have I got? Right. Here's what I got. I don't have many vinyls. I've got Eric Satie, Volume 1 and 2. I'm responding to Aldrius V now. Thank you, AK Ashley. Yeah, I've got Eric Satie Volume 1 and 2. Eric Satie is basically like the founder of ambient music. Lovely stuff. Genopsides, I don't know how you pronounce these names. Genopsides 1 is fan-fucking-tastic. I wish there was more acoustic guitar versions of it. It's piano solo music, solo piano music. But I'm not super into solo piano. So I just wish there was more, variations of it. I got Tubular Bells for £1. That was good. That's a good album. Really, I prefer like Omadorn, but I mean, obviously Tubular Bells are gonna be cheap. It's fucking everywhere. Hey up, Quinn. How you doing? I've got Kawabata Makoto and Anla Cortes live at Namba Bears. I bought this in up north in a record shop that's basically in someone's house. And I looked at this and I thought, oh, this looks really interesting. It's got a great cover, right? But look, yeah, that's it, Isaac. That Gnosinines, or however you say it. So I found this, right? And I thought, this looks really interesting, this artwork. I love this, right? It's great art. But the record itself I should have really picked up on the fact that the personnel says Kawabata Makoto does electric guitar, bow, and effects, and Anla Cortes does electric guitar, tapes, and vocals. I should have picked that up as a warning sign. There's no drums, there's no bass, right? There's none of the core elements of what make normal music. And I thought, okay, well, it's not normal music, neat. But you put it on, and each side is 20 minutes of just droning fucking harsh noise, right? With various fucking acoustic. Imagine an album of like this. It's not good, right? So this album kind of sucks, and I paid 20 quid for it. I got this, which the only reason I got this was for Brahms, because it's got a Brahms C-sharp minor thing that I like. Yeah, Piano Quartet No. 3 in C minor. That's my favorite classical piece ever. And then I've just got ABBA the album. Yeah, Sunno, I do like Sunno, but I would feel a little bit cheated if I spent 20 quid on a record at a record shop and it was Sunno, right? And I put that on. I feel like this sort of stuff is for, going down the rabbit hole in the YouTube recommendeds and just finding some weird stuff. And then if I want to buy it after the fact, I could buy it direct from them, right? I was just irritated that I spent 20 quid on something that doesn't have like real songs on it, right? And I like my experimental music. I like weird stuff, right? I'm keen with that. I mean, Neu, early Kraftwerk, Faust, all this sort of stuff. I love that, right? Komisch, I think it's called. Whatever the fuck you pronounce it, right? I like all that stuff, right? So I'm not saying it because, it doesn't have, it doesn't sound like Coldplay, right? But it just doesn't sound like music. What is the weakest season of Father Ted? 1. I feel like Series 2 was probably the best. Series 3 gets a little bit wacky, but it works with the wackiness. Series 2 is the most well balanced. I think Series 1 plays it all a bit too straight. I'll have a look at this Mitsune thing now. Let's have a look. It doesn't come up with anything. Is it a band? Okay. I don't know if I'm allowed to play music. I mean, I already played the Fontaines thing, didn't I? Stop giving me fucking adverts. I don't care. Oh, I like this. I'm not going to play any more of it because I don't know about licensing and stuff. Hi Jonny Mozza, your videos have been pretty big for me over the past while. Just saw your live and wanted to let you know you've been a positive influence. Thank you very much. Yeah, I never know how to respond to that because I do find genuine wow, it's amazing that I'm influencing people and stuff, but I've never been, when you open a Christmas present and you kind of got to go like, oh, Thank you so much. But I genuinely meant that. I meant that, right? I enjoyed the fact that I received this thing, right? And that was my best attempt at looking, gracious for it, right? Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Do you know what I mean? Pain in the ass. That's why I feel like if we were to do presents, right, I don't bother with wrapping paper because I would rather say I'm giving you On the Road by Jack Kerouac. I'd like to just say, I got you On the Road by Jack Kerouac. Here you are, right? And then they can go, oh, thanks, I've been looking for that. Rather than... And then there's that bit, right, where you're watching them unwrap it, right? I don't bother with wrapping paper for that reason. I mean, sometimes I got someone a record recently, right, and I had it in a Sainsbury's bag, right? And that's only so that I could take it out of the house, right? Because I don't want to walk around like this. You know what I mean? Anyway, enough of that. You need to play the KEXP. That's the one I'm actually on. I'm on the KEXP thing here. So I like all their costumes and stuff. All right. Let me do this. Innovator asks, hey man, can you tell me a little bit about your spiritual life? All right. Still not drinking. Sometimes I know, like, you see bottles and stuff, but it's usually like this, right? Like, this is Budvar Neilco. It's 0.5. Admittedly, if I go to a house party and I have like 10 of these, right, I have technically had like 1.5 beers, but I've had that over the course of like 6 hours, you know? And I'm not thinking of it as like I'm out to get drunk. I'm just having these in place so that I look like a normal person. Anyway, how's the series doing? The series is, well, to be honest, I'm working on finishing up a few things that are in post-production. I've got a feature film that's in post-production. I've got a short film that's in post-production, and both of those are like near the end of post-production, right? So I'm working on releasing that stuff now so that I can have a full, clear playing field for Jonny Mozza, so that I can just focus wholesale on. I've got about 35 minutes shot of Jonny Mozza, and I haven't, I'll admit, I've been working on it a lot less than I should have been, right? But recontextualizing it as a series has made it so much more realistic feeling, right? And I feel like the end product is going to be a lot better as a result of it being a series. In terms of, I can't really reveal anything. I'll tell you what, I'll show you a little bit of a video that I filmed for it. Here we go. So I filmed this Jonny Mozza's Lessons in Fashion, and I'm kind of doing this multicam.
I can't look any different sorts of music have different sorts of clothes. So
oh shit, I just realised I'm out of focus technically in that one.
Kind of instrument that you engage with kind of makes what you're all about, right? So if you're sort of a bit like wah 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 wah, right, you can have a bit of this. If you're a bit more like doodaloo, 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 you know, I sound a bit more like this, right? But obviously, I'm Jonny fucking Mozza, so you know, a bit more like that, I think. A bit like that. Woo, yeah.
So that's kind of the idea. Right. No! Stop focusing in on the spot on my fucking forehead. Right. Stop! Fuck off! No! No! This pain in the fucking ass, this. Thank you! Jesus Christ. Right. So, the spiritual life thing, that's what I wanted to actually talk about, right? So, I've had a long spiritual journey. Well, I've had a medium-length spiritual journey. I started off, when I was a kid and stuff, I was basically like a Reddit atheist. So, I was like, there's nothing out there, and anyone who believes in God is a fucking idiot, basically, was my approach, right? And I used to spend like religious class, RE, I think it's called religious education. And then, you know, I would sort of fight with the teachers over like, you know, religion and like stuff like that. And I tended to get in trouble a lot because of that. And then as I sort of became sort of 17, 18, you know, oh, what's this? Got a notification. Is it important? No, it's telling me that the live is now live. I know it is. We've been doing it for 25 fucking minutes. Right. So yeah, then I kind of grow up a little bit, and it's not like I believed in God. I'll tell you what, I did. I did go to church for about a week because I was in a bit of a state. Right? I was a bit unhappy with life, and I think I was like just not doing well in general mentally, right? And I was walking past the church, and an old friend from college sort of came past. He was like, "Oh, hey Josh, how you doing?" I was like, "Oh, how you doing, man? It's been a long time no see." And I see he has a Bible in his hand, and he's like, "Oh," and he asked where I'm going. I'm just going home. And he goes, and I sort of go, "Where are you going?" He goes, "I'm going to church." And I was like, "Are you?" He's like, "Yeah. Do you want to come?" I don't know why I'm giving him this. You know how like the church is kind of full of like happy people, right? He was being happy, right? Genuinely happy, not the sardonic shit that I do, right? So we go into the church, right? Uh, and he basically says, "This is Josh. He's new. Everyone say hi." Everyone says hello, and then they go, "Right, we're gonna do a prayer for Josh." So they say, "Josh, stand over there, right?" So I'm stood over fucking here, right, just like this, right, and there's people all fucking around me in a big circle, right, and they're all doing this. And the reason I'm muttering like that in a bit of a taking the piss sort of way is because all of them are saying different things. Every single one of them is praying in a different fucking tongue, right? And I'm sat there. I already don't like being the sole like thing of attention, right? Which I know is ironic because I'm doing a fucking live and I have a YouTube channel and stuff, right? But I'm not the sort of person that like likes to make everything about himself, right? So I didn't particularly like this. It felt kind of weird, right? Like I was in a cult or something. And so then they said, right, we're going to do some praying to God. So they sat us all down on these benches, right? And I sit there, and I'm kind of like, right, okay, I got to pray to God, right? So I kind of said, "Hey up, God, don't think you're there, but say you are, right? I know you're not going to give me a sign or anything, but listen, I don't know. I've been told to pray to you, so if you fancy a chat, come like respond to me and we can have a bit of a chat because I've got to do this for about half an hour. Praying takes a long fucking time. Turns out I thought praying took like a minute, but it turns out praying is like a half-hour affair. Right? You might like it's ridiculous how long it took. And so I'm sat there bored at this point because I'm just chatting to God, right, who isn't talking back, right, and I'm just there like, right, okay, great. I'm kind of just waiting to go on, right? I didn't live that far away from this church. I lived like a 5 minute walk away from the church. And there were a couple of people that insisted on driving me home because they're that fucking friendly, right? And you're looking around, you're saying, why is everyone so friendly and selfless and stuff, right? And then I go in on a Saturday night, and like, this is like, I think it's Methodist. So it's a lot of like African, kind of Caribbean sort of people doing Christianity, right? And in Methodism, I can't remember if it is Methodism, but you know the thing I mean, where they have like little rock bands, and they're a little bit 70s soul, and they play live stuff at the church, right, and a full drum kit and everything, right, and that was quite nice. I felt like I was just going in for a nice little time, a local little performance, right, and then a mate texted me. Remember I was about 17. I was in college at this point. Someone texted me and said, "Do you want to come out drinking?" And I said, "Well, yeah. Give me 5 minutes. I just need to get out of this church." So I just waited for the song to finish because I was enjoying the song, and then I tried to get up and awkwardly leave without doing an Irish exit, but it didn't work. So everyone kind of looked at me and watched me leave. And then I tried to go back, and my family and my friend said, "Don't go back." And I was like, "Why not? They do free Jamaican food." And I was like, "Well, you're going to get inundated into the church." And I was like, "Oh, yeah." So I didn't go back, and I didn't get to have my free Jamaican food. So that was irritating. So that's kind of part of my spiritual journey. Then I was trying to find a deeper meaning in the world, seeing what's going on. And so I was trying to figure out what, the root of all the evil was, right? And so you're trying to find that, and you're trying to find the hidden fucking code to everything. And so ended up going down the sort of deep state sort of thing, trying to find the deep state, the answers to the fucking deep state and all that. That lasted about 2 months because I managed to think myself out of it, and then realized that the world is just a lot more random than we want it to be, and we need to sort of accept that because it's kind of shit how random it is and how little control we really have over it. But at the same time, I also don't think that it's being preordained or pre-planned in a fate sort of way. You know, when people are like, "Oh, I can't believe it, everything is just random. Is everything just random?" It's like, well, yeah, say everything is just random. One of the possibilities would be the exact existence that we have. You know how people use the fine-tuning argument for Christianity, and they say like, well, if the universe, was completely random, how come we're all alive? Because the existence of man is kind of hard to sort of grasp. I mean, it's so gravity and all the various what's it called, strong nuclear force, the way physics works, all of this stuff needs to be exactly the way it is for us to exist, right? But say if it wasn't the way that it is, we wouldn't exist, right? So say there's only a 0.000000001% chance that humanity exists, right? And we're humanity, we're only going to know of the 0.000000001%. So say it is incredibly, incredibly rare, right? We are the result of that rarity. I mean, there's diseases out there that affect like 50 people, right? If you're one of those 50 people, there's a 0.0000001% chance you got the disease, but you have the disease, right? Because you're one of the 50 people who has the disease. Someone has to have it. Is kind of the way that I think of it. But it's not that I don't like the idea. I don't mind the idea of there being a god. I just don't want him to be, like the Christian idea of a god, because I just don't think that the Christian god seems very nice. He generally seems a little bit mean. So I'd rather, if we did have a god, it would come from a completely different perspective. Are you still saving for your sex change? No, I'm just growing my hair out. And that way, once my hair is fully grown, I don't need the sex change. I'll just be a woman. Sorted. Shave the moustache off. No one will be able to tell the difference. Favorite piece of media? It's a good question. I want to say Alan Partridge, but nah. I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know what my favorite piece of media would be. I like Crank. Spiritually, do you always feel connected to your body and the physical world? I remember about 8 years ago, I walked from Old Street to Hounslow, which, if you don't know, is it's far. It's like 20 miles or something to walk. It took all day to walk this route. Do you feel the lack of a Brassai type program has softened us all? Well, no, because Brassai, I feel like everything now is fucking Brassai. Everything is trying to be some like cutting edge political fucking satire, right? And if everything is a cutting edge political satire, just can't fucking hell. It just goes on and on and on and on with like more and more political stuff of everyone trying to be as offensive as possible, trying to be the most offensive to push the boundary consistently forever, right? And it just, I don't know, I just don't, it doesn't engage me in any way. You see, what's his face? I don't know. There is stuff like Brass Eye on. Every fucking comedian goes on about like politics now and tries to like take the piss with politics. The only difference is that maybe there's a lack of absurdism. Because of Brass Eye, the whole point of it was there was a lot of like, oh, this is a bit wacky, that wouldn't really happen. And there was a lot of stuff, like the Pedogeddon episode, certainly a bit hardcore, right? But there's stuff like that now, and there was stuff, and people were saying that there would be nothing like, I don't know. Oh, what's the show called? Yes, Minister. That kind of thing. Anyway, Brass Eye wasn't exactly the best series ever. Like the first few episodes kind of suck. It just it leans into the random. Ooh, isn't it weird that you got a cow that farts out jelly and the jelly gets used to feed people in Angola? And it's like, okay, yeah, cool, right? I get that these aren't things that happen in the real world, right? But so what? You know, I preferred the other one that wasn't Brass Eye. What was the one that wasn't Brass Eye? Yeah, that it's this little the toothbrush question. It's this little stain here. I'm trying to work it out. I'm trying to get rid of it. Right, it's slowly going away, but it's just fucking annoying, you know. But I find myself. I mean, I've still got all my original teeth. I don't have any fillings or anything like that. I've known people that like barely have any of their original teeth, and it's like I've still got all mine. Just because one's a bit dirty or two are a bit dirty, right? Anyway, ever drunk Bailey? I know that's a reference to something, but I don't know what. Euphemol. I'll have a look. The day to day, that's what I was thinking of. That is what I was thinking of. Yeah. I've not seen the Holy Mountain, but I want to. I've been meaning to. Is the ego equivalent to the devil? I don't know. Do you think science is stagnating, like it's turned into belief where people, especially in academics, don't question it as much? Hang on. When you say he's also gay, do you mean the guy from the day to day? Or do you mean me? The Mighty Boosh is good. Been getting into that. Oh, also, where's the person who said they like my face? Thanks. Your face is pretty decent as well. Why have you retracted your message? Who are you? The oh, whatever they said. How the fuck do streamers keep up with this? I've only got 50 viewers. There's people out there like Limmy. He streams and he has like 800,000 fucking viewers or whatever. I suppose his thing is that he doesn't care about you or whatever. I don't know. I'm not saying I like Limmy streams, by the way, but I think that's kind of what it is. How do you feel when you started getting tons of views on YouTube? Like a god, right? And then that kind of wore off, and then just sort of became normal now. But now I'm a bit like, what if I stop getting loads of views? You know? Why is everyone arguing about whether I'm gay or not? Is it the moustache? Is it the moustache that makes you think I'm gay? I think that might be it. But yeah, what transition are you asking if I'm gay? I do like the Mighty Boosh. To be fair, I feel like if you're gay, you're more likely to like the Mighty Boosh because it's got that kind of camp energy to it. It's not like a dry, sardonic series. It's got that like energy to it. You know, like oh, a bit of that. You know, it's got a bit of that with Noel Felding as well. Did you figure out a way to juggle work in this channel? Yeah, I did. I got a job. That's pretty good. I like the job. Yeah, it's good. This job in particular is good because I can balance my life around it, and it's the purple shirt. What color shirt should a non-gay wear? I mean, I don't think I'm gay. I did a gay test once, and I think I got like a 2 out of like 10. I have to wear black, so but goths can be gay. There's gay goths out there, and they all wear black. No shirt, take it off. Wouldn't that be even more gay? I feel like it would. Black polo. Right, I've got a couple. Right. So you're telling me I am no longer gay, right? Hello there. My name is Straight Shua Morrison, director of Oh No, I've Turned Gay. Right. What's your opinion on ambient music? I like it. I used to fall asleep to it a lot, right? But like when I was going to sleep and stuff, I'd always have different ambient albums on. Like I'd have a lot of Brian Eno and a lot of Steve. Is it Steve Roach? It's not Steve Vai. As an impartial viewer with no input at all, I say no shirt. Nor with small streams, you can really get people invested by minimally yet genuinely. Oh no, the gay test was like, you know, when you're in college, right? When you're in college, right? There's always that group that comes in and makes you do a fetish test, and there'll always be that group somewhere that will pull you over and be like, "We're gonna have you do a test," and it's like, "What?" And it's like, "This is the fetish test. You got to do it, right?" So I'm not gonna tell you the results that I got on my fetish test, right? But it didn't. There was also a gay test as well, and so I got 2 out of 10 on the gay test, and I'm not particularly fetishistic. So anyway, yeah, there is a new King Gizzard album coming out, but I don't think it's coming out on the 15th. I think it's coming out on. I think they're announcing it on the 5th. Like they're announcing the release date or something like that. Let me have a look. King Gizzard new album. I like the album art for it. The album art for it is pretty good. Oh, it's actually out. Oh, wait, is it actually out next week? I will say that some of the tracks on this new King Gizzard album sound a bit dumb. Like Space Sick, Sea of Doubt, Silent Spirit, right? Eternal Return. These sound like there was a parody of King Gizzard that was like, King Gizzard announced that they're going to make 11 albums in 1 month with the help of AI. And like it had titles that sounded a bit like this. I mean, I'm excited for it because Phantom Island was really good. But I don't know. I didn't like Flight B471. I thought that album kind of sucked, to be honest. It just wasn't for me. It's not that I didn't appreciate Flight B741. I just didn't enjoy it. Like, I don't know. Le Risk is good. I like Le Risk. And I like Raw Feel is okay. But I don't like the fact it's called Raw Feel. Like, what am I supposed to put on a song for some friends, right? And it's a good song, but it's called Raw Feel. I'm not putting on a song called Raw Feel, okay? There's no context where that's happening. Right? Hang on. I'm trying to get through these. I mean, to be fair, are you a purple fetishist? My favorite color is purple. That's only because when I was a kid, I liked playing Spyro the Dragon. What did I study in uni? Unfortunately, I studied film, which is why I'm doing a live stream on a phone. Don't do film school. It's a waste of fucking time. If you want to make films, make them, right? Go study business or medicine or something, right? Something that's actually useful, because if you're going to try and make film like your career, right, and that's your main one, right, fucking pointless. No, you want that to be your ideal, and then there's this backup day job sort of thing that you have over here. That's what is the main breadwinning thing, right? You talk to any actor, they don't just act; they do something else, unless they come from a rich family. I'm trying to find. Do I play any games? The last video game I played Mass Effect 2 in 2023. Oh, then my mate gave me an Xbox 360 for some reason and a load of games with it. So thanks to him. He knows who he is. I saw him yesterday actually. Yeah, got an Xbox 360 and some games, and we had a bit like where he'd come over and we'd play some video games on the Xbox, right? So we tried playing COD Zombies, Skate, tried playing Borderlands, but Borderlands has this robot tutorial guy. He's the most annoying little shit. I stopped playing it because of him. There was this one section, right, where this robot gets like half decimated, right? And you're meant to heal him. I thought, I'm not healing that fucking robot. I want the robot to go away, right? It tells you can press the A button so that you can jump. It's like that level of fucking thing. It's like having Jar Jar Binks follow you around. It's a pain in the ass. No, you can comment as much as you want. That's kind of the point of this. You know, come on, comment stuff, and have fun with it. Also, if you are going to do more lives, you might need some moderators to manage the chat. Honestly, I don't know what moderators do. I don't know how that works. Do I have to like make like a WhatsApp chat with the moderators and then sort of say, hey guys, the chat is like getting a bit rowdy, can you like lock them down or something? I don't know how it works. I don't know internet stuff. I'm not like a big online person. I mean, I know how to edit, I know how to upload to YouTube, and I watch a few YouTubers and stuff, but I'm not like Discord, don't understand it, don't get it, I don't know all of this stuff. Budget mic recommendations, just get these fucking things. This is what I use for every video. They're quite good. I've not seen the Minecraft movie. It should have... I've not seen the Minecraft movie because I'm 25 years old, right? When I was young, when I was about 10, Minecraft like was something I think I found Minecraft when I was 11, and it was still in like alpha at that point. And basically there was a website which was called like Play Minecraft for Free, right? And I loved that game. I played it religiously for like 4 years. And then I kind of turned 15, and then, you know, I'm in the next stage of being a kid, right? But my nephew likes Minecraft, right? And every time I'm over at my brother's house, right, and I say to my nephew, I say to him, "Why are you playing Minecraft?" And he goes, "Because I like it." And it's like, when I was your age, I liked Minecraft. This isn't right. No, this doesn't make sense. Okay. You're a different generation. You can't like the same thing as me, right? He's got Fortnite going for him, right? Have that. Why are you treading on my territory? Who are some of your favorite directors? I like. I don't know. Richard Linklater, great. Fucking, he's probably my favorite overall. I don't know. I don't really know directors that well. Like, I'm not super into Martin Scorsese. Not that I dislike his films. They're just not for me. Probably more of a Spielberg guy. I like Jurassic Park. I like Jurassic Park 2. I like Jaws, stuff like that. I don't know. The lad who did Time of the Gypsies as well. He's good. What's the story behind your new guitar? Oh, I'll show you the new guitar because it's not that one. It's this one over here. I'm gonna turn it on actually as well, so you can kind of hear the idea. Hang on. So this is an Ibanez A7. So it's a fun guitar. I like it quite a lot. I went to Brighton with my girlfriend, right, and we had a lovely old time. Just going around, went to a load of charity shops, went into various, fun shops. What's the market thing? Looking for vinyl. I could have bought Noi 1 and 2 for 80 quid, but I went to GAC in Brighton, right? And I was like, oh, fucking hell, I'm in heaven. And I found none of the guitars were speaking to me. None of them were drawing me in, right? You've got a lot of, like the big Epiphone style guitars, the massive ones, right? There was a lot of those, and I just sort of thought, it's not my thing. I don't like that kind of guitar. I'm not super into Les Pauls. They're good. I like Strats, right? But I also like 24 fret, right? And this just does everything for me. This is my dream guitar essentially, right? It's not got a Floyd Rose, but it's got a bit of a floating bridge, so I can do, you know, that, right? It's got high up, so I can kind of do a bit of this. And let me do it properly. I can't be bothered to turn the amp back on. So it's got all that. It's got humbuckers and single coil, right? And I was there and I was playing with it, and it's 400 quid. And I thought, I don't normally spend money on myself for things that I want, right? I mean, I'm not a big money spender sort of person, right? So the idea of spending 400 quid on a guitar, it was hard for me to justify, right? And there was this kid, and he was looking at me playing the guitar, and he looked a little bit like, whoa, right? And the dad sort of said, he overheard me sort of trying to justify buying the guitar to myself. And, you know, the girlfriend's kind of going, oh, you know, you should buy it. Why not? And you know, this dad sort of goes to his son, do you think you should buy it? And the kid goes, yeah. And I was like, this is like 3 against 1 here. So all right, I'll buy it, right? I bought it. One of the best decisions, right? Because I know for a fact if I hadn't bought it, right, I'd have gone around the rest of the fucking time in Brighton. Just like, I should have bought that guitar, should have bought that guitar, should have bought that guitar. And obviously when I first bought it, I felt guilty for spending 400 quid on a guitar. But kind of managed to make myself feel a bit better about it by sort of thinking, you know, this is a real special thing. This is my guitar with my story behind it. And this is what I want to keep this for forever, right? This is my forever guitar, basically. Right. Anyway, the ominous Carl asks, what happened to the idea of the Discord group? Yeah, I'm very sorry about that. It kind of petered out because well, let me think. Why did it peter out? I think because I didn't do a good enough job on maintaining it. Like, I wanted to do this email band, and I wanted to do all this collaboration with people over the internet, and I still want to do all of that. But at the time, I was doing 2 videos a day for this channel. I was working on the Jonny Mozza. I was working on the feature films that I haven't I've finished. You know, it was a busy time, and all my spare time was going into those things, and I had no time at all to work on it. And I really should have done something. I tried to sort out some moderators so that it could be a bit more like self-reliant, but the moderators ended up falling through, and I just didn't understand how a lot of it worked, and I realized I was very in over my head. But the Discord that I do have set up does still seem quite active, but I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe I should set up one that is just based around this channel, and people can just come and talk about shit and just like philosophy and stuff. Maybe do it that way. I'm not sure. It's a bit of a blind spot for me, to be honest. I want to still make that email band because I have the distinct vision of it, aka a band that gets together and we release stuff, and the music that we release goes to various charities, and the charities aren't going to be like your big charities. It's going to be like tiny charities that no one's ever heard of, for causes that no one's ever heard of, right? That are, you know, pretty much apolitical kind of causes, right? That no one really thinks about, that are probably seen as being a bit boring or whatever. But, you know, someone's got to sort them out. I wanted it to be about that, right? And yeah, that's kind of what I want to do with this project. And eventually, I do plan to. I just need to clear up some of my to-do list first. But yeah, I am very sorry that hasn't, you know, panned out the way I hoped. Chicken Jockey. I'm still sober. What would you do differently if you were 15 as far as filmmaking goes? Well, I wasn't a filmmaker when I was 15. You know how you always see these fucking YouTube filmmaker people, right? And they're all like, oh, I was making films at 10, I was making films at this age. It's like, I didn't make any films until I was about 16, 17. I didn't start playing guitar until I was 17. I feel like my childhood was just a black hole fucking of time. There's nothing that happened, man. Schedule. I know Americans say schedule. Schedule. Hey, I've got a schedule going on. I need to be over here at 3:30. I need to be over there at 4. My schedule is really intense. To grit up, I have no idea what people are talking about. Gritot says, if you want to put it like that, my dude. Oh, it's the Minecraft thing. It's the Minecraft thing, isn't it? Yeah. Right. How much money do I make from YouTube? I don't make very much anymore. I was making like £1,000 a month for a bit, but I'm not anymore. Any way for me to make sure I can catch your next live? I don't plan them. I just start them. To be honest. What do you think about Wes Anderson? I like the Fantastic Mr. Fox. That's good, but I didn't like Grand Budapest Hotel. I like his style. Sometimes it can be a bit twee, but I do like it. Maybe I'll show more pictures. No, my YouTube cut out. Who was your favorite director? Who the fuck did I say? I can't even remember. The lad who did Time of the Gypsies, I think. Or maybe the lad who does Crank. What else did the guy who did Crank do? Crank. Oh, I think the guy who did Crank did, yeah, Brian Taylor and the other lad. But the thing is, they haven't really got anything else that's good. I mean, Jonah Hex, Gamer, Hellboy, the new Hellboy, and Ghost Rider 2. It's not really good, but Crank 1 and Crank 2 they do have, so that elevates them. Hi, I started playing guitar at 17, which apparently is quite late for this sort of thing. I did it basically entirely on my own, which is why, like, I probably don't have very good technique. Hang on, I'll do it up here so you can sort of see. There's a lot, like, I'm not using the pinky as much as I should be, so I'm trying to, like, learn the correct way of doing it. Oh, is it? Well, you know, I don't know if you see in the YouTube video, sometimes I've got them orange trousers, right? I bought them from a shop in Tottenham Court Road. I went back to that shop and it had gone. It was a fantastic little shop, that. Pain in the ass. Do I like animation? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I feel like what British comedy is missing is animated sitcoms. America doesn't have very many good live action sitcoms, right? They've got Malcolm in the Middle, and that's about it, right? Probably some other stuff that I've not heard of. Right? But on the animated side, they've got The Simpsons, they've got South Park, they've got BoJack Horseman, they've got Rick and Morty, if you want to count that. They've got all sorts of stuff, right? Britain doesn't have any of that. I feel like the British need more animated sitcoms. So why don't they have them? I don't know, but my dream would be to make like the British Simpsons. How often do you shower? Well, never, because I have baths instead. Oh, that's going to get clipped, isn't it? That's going to get clipped out of context. But I have baths, you know, like, I don't know, 5 times a week. I mean, if I'm not going anywhere, right, I don't really see I'm just sitting in all the time. There's not really much point in me doing having a bath. But if I'm going out, then I might, you know, I'll have one before I go out, so that I'm fresh and clean. Are you ever existentially bored? All the fucking time. Like, have you not seen these videos? It's endless fucking existential pondering, right? That doesn't lead to anything. Just wraps around itself, right? I never get to anywhere, so I'm endlessly existentially bored, and I'm getting sick of it, to be honest. Do you know Jacob Collier? I do. Do you like what he does with his logic board? It's a door. I have no idea. I have no idea. I know Jacob Collier. I find his music a bit boring, but he's clearly very good at what he does, so not much of an opinion on him. Yeah, I don't really. Oh, what's your philosophy of living right now? I don't know. Endless trying to find, you know, some kind of. How do I put it? I don't know at the moment. sometimes you feel like you've got it all figured out, right? And then sometimes you're aware of the fact that you don't. And it's like you're always on the mission for, new epiphanies, right? And at a certain point, you go through hardships in your life, and when you're going through those hardships, you have epiphanies about the thing that you're going through, and you find new perspectives and new ways of seeing it that work better for your circumstance, right? But because your circumstance is changing so consistently and rapidly, right, that you're kind of there like, is everything that I'm learning here the right thing to learn? But right now, everything's quite stable for me. So I'm trying to wade through everything that's led me up to this moment and see what's going on and how I can interpret it and what is the best solution to, being happy and contented. And apparently, there's people out there that don't think that living a contented, satisfying, happy life where you're fulfilled and you make the people around you feel fulfilled, that apparently isn't like the norm. So I don't know, to be honest. Do you have personal ontology metaphysics? I know vaguely what metaphysics is, but I don't know ontology. I made up this religion called Morrisonism, which is basically what was it? Basically, I was looking at the idea of consciousness, right, and I was thinking, who are we to say that something has or has no conscious, right? So the example I had was like coffee cup, right? It might have a conscious. We have no way of telling, right? And at what point does the coffee cup become separate from its consciousness? So, for instance, is this handle separate from the main body, right? In terms of consciousness, I think we'd all agree the spoon is different from this, but it's inside, it's close, right? Maybe in the same way that you are close with your family. But obviously, right, there is no way of me being able to tell what's going through the conscious of this coffee cup. There's no way of me telling, is it happy? Is it sad? Does it understand those terms? Maybe just because it has consciousness doesn't mean that it has, some state of will of survival or anything like that. It doesn't understand, basic things or think the way that we do in any fucking way that we can recognize. But to say it has no conscious at all, I just don't know if I could comfortably say that, right? Trying to find the next question because I've moved to a wrong part. I'm very glad that I was able to get you into world building. It's a fun topic. I want more people to get into it. Do you believe time exists as an entity? What was that? Fuck off. Go away. I'm fuck off. Sorry about that. Someone tried calling me. I don't know if that affected much. Do you ever have dreams that give you good ideas? Not really. I don't like my dreams. My dreams are always trying to tell me that I want stuff that I don't want. Yeah, like just not necessarily nightmares, but just things that I don't like being shown very vividly, right? And I've never enjoyed dreams particularly. My favorite dream I ever had was I was fighting in the Vietnam War and I was Spider-Man, right? But you know what the annoying thing was? I couldn't swing, I couldn't climb walls, right? I was just in the Vietnam War as a normal fucking soldier. I was just dressed as Spider-Man, and I knew I was Spider-Man, but I couldn't do anything. What's the point of that? Right? I had another one where basically I'd been sent in to sort out like Africa, right? So I went to like some like I don't know tribe in Africa to sort out the issues there, right? But then there was like 4 tribes that were all like in a like this sort of war against one another. It was kind of like Dances with Wolves, but like the African version. And I was Kiefer Sutherland or whoever it is. it was just irritating. But like it went on for what felt like weeks, right? And I was basically in a wartime situation where like I couldn't, I go to sleep in a hut, right? And then I'd wake up and I'm still in the hut, and it's just not fun. I don't like dreaming. I think another dream I remember was I was at my nan's house, and my nan said, "I'm getting sick of you being here. Can you go home?" And I was like, "Okay." So I walked home, and my nan in real life lives quite far away. Like you got to drive, and you got to drive down a long motorway. And so I had to walk down the motorway. There were no cars anywhere. It felt like being in fucking 28 Days Later. And then I went into a school where basically it was like Silent Hill in there, fucking blood and guts everywhere, and like nasty stuff. So that's why I don't like dreaming, right? So dreams are a pain in the ass. And the thing is, I'm saying all this, it probably makes me sound like more of a mentalist than I really am, right? And it makes me sound like I've got some problems in the head or whatever. I don't really. I'm not like mega depressed. I don't like, worry so much about like the world. I'm not like, troubled in that way. But the dreams are troubling. They're not nice dreams. Right? Is the point I'm trying to make. I'm gonna shut that door. There we are. I can't remember what the question was actually. What was the question that you said? Because I think it came in while the phone was vibrating. I'm having a look. Oh, also, sorry, I forgot to mention, Torrid Weiss. Thank you very much for the donation. It means a lot. I forgot to talk about it because I was so focused on like, getting into how shit dreams are and how I'm not a fan of them. But thank you very much for and I'm glad that you enjoy the stuff that's going on. I need to get better at thanking people. Maybe that's the case, Jesse. I mean, I've met people that are like proper, messed up in the head, and I'm not saying that to like, be mean about them, but like they are, right? They've got serious fucking problems, right? And like, look, I know that we all have problems to varying degrees, right? But for instance, like when I came out of a relationship, right, I was dreaming about the woman in question, right? I didn't like the woman, right? I didn't want to be back with her. I didn't enjoy her company. I was sick of her, right? And the dream is trying to tell me that I want her back, right? But I don't. So as the dream is telling me something that is against what I actually wish for and want. That's why I don't like dreams, because they try and make you. Because there's that pseudo pop philosophy of like, oh, what's your dream? It's telling you what you really want. It's like, fuck off. No, it isn't. If everyone's dreams told them what they really want, we'd be living in a much worse world because everyone would start making the wrong decisions. What's your favourite place to visit in Britain? I'm not sure. HK, I'm sorry I mentioned dreams. You don't have to apologise. I thought it was quite a fun tangent. How do you... there's a few questions here that I feel like people want to know the answers to. So one, how do you go through the process of recording a video? I'm struggling with posting and editing. What software work process do you use? Any advice? Okay, right. So this is the camera that I film on. It's a Canon C100, right? I've just put this on Fat Llama. So if you want to rent this out, I think I've done it for like 40 quid a day or something like that. Right, so I use that, put the SD card in that, tripod. I've got the tripod somewhere over here. Yeah, there it is. So this is the tripod. Take the tripod out, put the camera on top of this. I've got this very cheap actually. It's worth like 400 quid. I got it for about 130. But you didn't hear that from me. And then I go to a friend's house, right? Depends on like what friend it is, you know, and that kind of thing. Because I have different friends that live in different places. So you might see somewhere that's a bit more urban, right? That a lot of that is like one friend that I'm going to see, right? And I see them every so often. And then you sometimes see ones that are in the woods, or sometimes you see ones that are in fields and stuff. They're all different, essentially different people that I'm going to visit, right? And there's a few parks near people's friends. So what I do is I say I meet a friend at 6 p.m., right? I leave the house at like 2 p.m., right? Even though I don't really need to leave the house till about half 5 p.m., right? 5 p.m. It depends on what friend it is, right? And so I go out with the camera and the tripod and I film all my videos beforehand in parks near them, right? And then I finish my videos up. I go to the friend's house, do what I'm doing with the friend, right? Go see a movie or whatever, and then I come back home, right? I edit all my stuff and I leave it to export while I go to sleep, right? Because with like media encoder, you can like export like 4 things at once. So I just export like 4 videos, right, that I've all shot in one big batch. That's why you might see me wearing the exact same clothes. It's just all done on the same shoot. And I kind of go in with little ideas for topics. So I don't like, you know, super narrow it down. I narrow in and figure out what the idea is sort of near the beginning of the video itself. So say I was to do a video on Jack Kerouac's On the Road, right? I don't know what it would be about. It would just be about Jack Kerouac's On the Road. But I would start off, you know, hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Jonny Mozza's Lessons in Confidence. Today I want to talk a little bit about Jack Kerouac. Jack Kerouac wrote a book called On the Road. It's a pretty decent book. And then I'd maybe talk about where I got it from, why I've got it, why I'm reading it, right, how far I'm into it, about this far in, what's going on in the story, do I like it, right? And as I'm talking about it more, as I was just started that, so many ideas for where I could take the video come to my head, right? And I essentially just try and do one at a time throughout the course of the video, segregate them a bit so that it's clear what point is what and what point leads into what. And then once I've gotten all my points done, or I feel like I'm not going to get to the core of any kind of, conclusion, then I wrap it up and sort of go through why we did this, and then I ask for, you know, comments about, you know, the subject in question. That's why I ask questions at the end. It's a good way of like wrapping the video up and sort of driving engagement as well. And then I film like 4 or 5 of them in one go, and I edit them. I do color grade, 4:3 aspect ratio, which is just, let me find it. So I've got this, right, Jonny Mozza Project Day 9, and then branding, and I've just got this. And I literally just put this PNG over everything. And the reason I do that, the reason I don't export the videos in 4:3, I will show you. Hang on. Video in 4:3 aspect ratio. Watch it not give me one. I don't even know if they're going to be in 4:3. It's not in 4:3. It is. Okay, this is in 4:3. I don't like this. Right? I don't want that. This is what a normal video looks like. Do you get my point? I don't want the video looking like that. I want it to look like that. Right? But just with black bars on the side. Oh, shut up. I don't have a problem with black bars. Black bars are cool. No, I don't see an issue with them. I've grown up with black bars, right? No problem with black bars, right? Because the black bars are going to be there anyway. It's being replaced by white bars and fucking, you know, like the YouTube recommended. Doesn't matter. I'm just trying to. I've just realised I've gotten so in depth with that one thing. Now I've missed so many comments. Take care, AK Ashley. Hope you have a great rest of the day. Have fun and stuff. Enjoy your life. Hi Susan, lovely to see you again. What books do you read? Do you love the most? Which ones had a big impact on your life? I read a book called it's a good book that I've read. Great North Road by who the fuck was that by? Great North Road book. Peter F. Hamilton. It's a sci-fi novel. It's quite a long sci-fi novel, but it was really good. It was like half detective thing, half there's an alien planet with a like fucky genocide going on. I loved that. It was brilliant. And then the two things kind of merge into one another. It was fantastic. You said earlier that I think the fact I'm reading this question is ironic in itself. You said earlier that you don't know how streamers handle the chat. They do not feel obligated to answer everything mentioned as how. That would make sense. That would make a lot of sense. Because, like, let's think of someone who is live right now. Must be someone who's live. Okay, there's a guy called Tommy Innit, right? So he apparently goes live. Well, he made a fucking video going on about how he's a live stream. He's live streamed 3 times. Why did he bother making the video? What the fuck? Not doing well. Is it just me, or does that feels like the sort of thing I do? But then it becomes something totally different. But that style of thumbnail, I've noticed a lot of people doing that sort of for free. I know obviously I didn't invent for free, right? But there's a lot of, because it's a streamer conscious sort of thing, obviously, right? It's obviously a lot more serious than his videos around it, right? But I do see a lot of this for free thing going on. Tommy, I have no idea who Tommy Innit is. And look, it's not like I invented talking to the camera in a 4:3 aspect ratio, so they can do what they want. But I do notice it. I do find it fun. I mean, look, there's one here 6 months ago, and it's the same aspect ratio. It's just called YouTube's Changed. I'm seeing if he's got any more. So if anything, maybe I ripped off Tommy Innit. I might have ripped off Tommy Innit. When did this video come out? This video came out 3 days before my first video came out. Oh shit, I'm really sorry guys. I'm actually a stealer of content. I've ripped off Tommy Innit, so I'm very sorry. You know, I just had to rip off the artistic genius of Tommy Innit. And so that's not fair. I don't know anything about his content. And he seems like a nice enough guy. Maybe he's not, I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking about him. Just because like you get into this and then it becomes like, you know, drama or whatever. I don't want that to happen because I don't really care about him. I just dreamt it. Yeah, exactly. It was just a dream. Oops. Do you like Viagra Boys? Do you know what's really annoying? I should like Viagra Boys, but I don't. Are Viagra Boys the ones that have like the long songs? Because there's Viagra Boys and then there's someone else called Squid. And they're like the same sort of thing, but Viagra Boys or Squid. I can't remember which one, but they like dabble in a bit more, you know, krautrocky sort of stuff. Jonny Mozza, would you visit Laurel Canyon and make music for the experience? Well, I don't know what that is. Laurel Canyon. It's a TV series. Oh, it's a place in Los Angeles. I like the idea of going to America just so that I can say I've been, and so that I can see what's going on, because like everyone's from America, right? That's on the internet. Like I bet a lot of you are Americans, right? And I remember I met a woman who was from Massachusetts, right? And she grew up in the 90s, right? So she grew up living the Pamela Anderson, like in a film life, you know? You know what you see in a film? That's what they're seeing. And they were incredibly interested in my life in London, right? But I was incredibly interested in their life in Massachusetts, and she thought her life was really boring, and I thought my life was really boring. But it's like the grass is always green on the other side, sort of thing. Do you watch any other YouTubers? At the moment, I'm watching Jimmy the Giant. He's quite good. The Soy Pill. I like his stuff. And then lately, I've gotten into Big Joel because I quite like. I've got a mate who he had a phase of looking exactly like Big Joel, and we kind of made a joke out of it. I had a phase of about 3 years ago a YouTuber called No Fuckers, looked exactly like me. I didn't look quite like this at the time, and I think No Fuckers has since like shaved his head and like he looks completely different. But there was that maybe year-long span in 2022 where we looked exactly the same, and my mate looked exactly like Big Joel. So I kind of got into Big Joel. Let me have a look at YouTube and just see what's going on with it, because I don't know. I don't really know what's going on. Uncle Mickey Productions as well. I like them. They do these reviews of like Ralph the Movie Maker's things and like YouTuber movies. I really like their stuff. But there's one guy in it, and he keeps doing this, and it really annoys me. Put your fucking socks on. Stop getting your bare fucking feet out. All right? I'm enjoying your videos. All right? I don't want to see your feet. All right? There's a reason that you've never seen my feet. All right? Because it's not for public display. Put your feet away. But your videos are fantastic. Right. Israel Canyon, fuck's sake. Laurel Canyon is a hippie counterculture folk type thing from the 60s. Okay. I'm just gonna look up hippie. It's apparently there's a conspiracy around it, and there's some cults and stuff. The all history is soft rock, folk rock. Joni Mitchell, okay, I understand it. I'm not big into Joni Mitchell, to be honest. I probably wouldn't. Why is there something rather than nothing? Well, because there is, to be honest. I mean, you can ask why for anything. You know, when you're a kid and like your mum says, "Don't have any biscuits," and you go, "Why?" And it's like, well, because there's only so many biscuits. Why? Well, because the packet comes in that sort of way. Why? Well, because of the nature of supply chains and stuff. Why? And you can just ask why forever and ever and ever in an infinite sort of way, right? But what, for instance, doesn't have that same thing, right? You can ask what maybe twice before you get to the core of the issue. Why? You can ask why as many times as you want. So there's no answer to why. It just is. It's fine, right? Why is a human construct, right? Is why I think of it. Is the way I think of it. Honestly, I don't know much about like old music and stuff. I mean, like a lot of my friends are very into like 60s, 70s, 80s music. And like I'll talk to them about bands, and they'll have seen so many people live, and they'll have listened, and they know music, right? I don't know music like that. I have my little obsessions. Like right now, I'm obsessed with Dream Theater. Before that, I was obsessed with Akala. Before that, I was obsessed with King Gizzard. Before that, I was obsessed with Noi, Krautrock, stuff like that. Before that, I was obsessed with Death Grips. Before that, I was obsessed with Pink Floyd, right? Before that, I mean, there's little obsessions along the way, right? And before that, I was a teenager and I was listening to like Two Steps from Hell and Nightcore and garbage like that, right? So I don't know how people know so much about music. Is it because, I don't know, do they sit there and like study music? I don't know how they do it. The reason I started going to the gym was because I could listen to more albums, right? And I managed to, broaden my horizon and just listen to stuff. But I listened to a lot of it almost like it was homework, not because I wanted to actually listen to it and engage with it, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's kind of why I don't know as much music as I should. Do you think you're neurodivergent? Well, when I was a kid, right, I was a little shit. And so the school apparently said to my parents that, oh, he's ADD. Back then it was called ADD, right? And then they'd go in again and they'd be like, oh, he's autistic, right? And if I look at myself objectively, right, I avoid eye contact, I have my hyper little fixations, and I can focus very intently on extreme things. And then sometimes I can't do that, right? There's no in between. I think logically, I probably am neurodivergent, but for me personally, I wouldn't want to go get a diagnosis because I would use it as an excuse anytime like I cause an awkward situation, right, I'd walk off and my brain would be like, don't worry about it, Josh, you're autistic, right? I know that's what my brain would do. It's not like an indictment on all autists, right? Other people won't do that, but I would, and that's why I wouldn't call myself like autistic or try and get myself diagnosed or whatever. At the end of the day, who gives a shit, right? We're all people. It doesn't matter, right? I'm here. I can talk. I can fluidly come up with conversation, and I have friends. That's all I need. I'm just trying to find another question. Because a lot of them are statements. Knowing about music isn't listening to music per se. I know a lot of random stuff from video. I mean, yeah, I get that from video essays and stuff. I understand that, but at the same time, it's just kind of frustrating because there's only 24 hours in the day, right? And it feels like there's so many albums out there to experience, and the more you experience, the more you get used to it, the more you get used to stuff, right? When I first listened to More by Pink Floyd, it blew me the fuck away. I tried listening to it yesterday, right? And I got to the song after the crying song. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's just called More. And I listened to it. I was like, this is garbage. I turned it off. I didn't do that the first time. It blew me away the first time. So why has that happened? Is it because I've listened to too much music and I can just take it for granted because I've got all the music I want at my fingertips? I don't know. Top 3 guitarists. Ooh, that's a good question. David Gilmour, obviously. Joey Walker and John Petrucci. Those are my 3. Yeah, I'm sticking with them. Are you an albums type of person, or do you? I definitely would say I prefer playlists, but that's not because I don't like the idea of an album. Joey Walker is from King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. He's the main guitarist. He's the one that does all the crazy stuff. I don't know. I don't like Jimi Hendrix that much. I just don't like it. I don't know why. Just not for me. And I know that's you're not meant to say that if you're a guitarist, because it's sort of like, he's just one of the greatest ever. It's like, so we all know he's one of the greatest ever. He left a legacy for a reason, right? Which is why I have to sort of sit there and understand the reason why he's not one of my favorite guitarists, because by default he should be. He's good, don't get me wrong. Voodoo Chili's good, and like, he's clearly talented. I'm not saying he's not talented or anything like that, but I don't know. I just don't love him. Well, yeah, Dire Straits are good. I mean, it wasn't the most enthusiastic. They're good, I know, but how did you learn to understand rhythms in music? I still have trouble really feeling the rhythm. All right, let me try and figure it out, right? So 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Okay, so that's 4/4. It's hard to, yeah, I can't teach this properly, but I know swing is like dun 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 dun, dun, a bit gallopy, right? Whereas 4/4 is a lot more straight. So 6/8 is essentially swing. 3/4 is essentially waltz, which is like. That's waltz, and then you can do 5/4, which is essentially just like, I don't know, you want to be a bit laid back, so I don't think that was 5/4. All right, let's do 5/4. kind of 5/4, and then you got 9/8. 9/8 is, I think this is 9/8. But some people tell me it's 7/8, so I don't know which it is. I don't know which that is. It's going. The new relationship's going very, very, very well. I don't know how to sort of say it in a way that like conveys the accuracy without also getting into personal elements of it, which I don't want to do. So I'll leave it there. Yeah, it's going fantastic, right? Yeah, I mean, I mean, that riff that I was playing. That was a song that I basically wrote for. Person in particular, and I still want to make my 20-minute long song called Big Word, which will probably start off like. So it would be kind of like our version of Shiny Crazy Diamond. Something like that. Anyway. My dad plays guitar every day. I got a violin for Christmas that I've been sadly neglecting, that I'd ideally want to play as often as my dad plays guitar. How can I get myself to play every day? I don't know. Enjoy it. Enjoy playing it. If you're trying to do it as like, I want to learn how to get great at it, and you're seeing playing it as practicing it and seeing the practice as a chore to do, you're not going to want to do it, right? When I pick up a guitar, that's me taking a break from something else rather than me going into work mode, right? When I play the guitar, I'm relaxing, right? So for me, it's easy to do the practice that I need to do because I just play the guitar because I enjoy playing the guitar. So that's how I see it. What's a small moment recently that made you feel alive? I've been being in Brighton, right? So I went to Brighton with my girlfriend, right? And it was an amazing time, right? And there was one point where we went out onto the pier, and there's an arcade on the pier, and then we went past the arcade, and you're walking on the wood, right? And you can see through the wood, and you can see the ocean below. And the ocean's quite far away, and I started noticing every little ricket and fucking like nail and stuff like that, and rivet and things. And I was looking through it, and I got this sudden rush of vertigo. I mean, I'm not terrified of heights. I wouldn't say I've got the falling phobia or whatever, but I didn't massively like it. I felt a bit paralyzed, right? People were laughing at me. And got back into the arcade, sort of like hopping around and tiptoeing back, and being a bit of a scaredy little shit, right? And I don't know, I won a cow, and on the claw machine, and everything just sort of felt right. Everything felt nice, and not in a way like everything's so fantastic now, but it's going to end. Oh no! And I need to go back to my shit life. It was like I felt like at some point I'm going to go back home, and I'm going to feel a little bit like, oh, I'm finally home, but in the way that I'm still currently enjoying this present moment. You know, it was amazing. It was the best thing that I could have had. It was the perfect in between living a euphoric sort of high and just being content with the state of the world that you're in. So yeah, that's kind of, I would say that was a time that I felt alive, you know, and true to myself, and it was really nice. And that's where I bought this guitar, this guitar here. So I think everything went pretty well. What's your favorite place that you've traveled to? Fuck, I don't know. Um, hmm. Bulgaria. Let's see what other questions there are. I need to check, actually. I'm not sure how... I feel like if I do something to the chat filter, I'll see more things. Oh, do I have to press these buttons to make this heart come up on this? Oh, oops. I meant to heart. I can heart react to the super chat. I didn't realize that. If you change this filter, it will only show you the last 100 fan. I don't think I have to worry about that. Hang on. Let people mark quite. I don't quite understand. What are your favorite? Oh, question. I'm so confused. I actually don't. I actually use pen and paper quite a bit, like more than you might think. I came up with this recently, which is essentially a backup chart that I need to back things up with. I do a lot of this sort of thing, which actually I don't know if I should be showing you it. Oh yeah, I can show you it. So it's sort of like just a to-do list. I do to-do lists. There's one on the other side. Just seeing if I can show it to you. Yeah, so it's got go gym, make pie, sort backups out, film 4 Jonny Mozzas, respond to a client. Then on Thursday, go to appointment, film 4 Jonny Mozzas, driving lesson, go to work, edit Jonny Mozzas, stuff like that. Yeah. Jesse, what's the best way to listen to new music? Do you use Spotify? I don't use Spotify because everything that I want isn't on Spotify. Like I like live versions of stuff, and generally the live versions that I want aren't on Spotify. And then I've got to spend like £8 a month on Spotify. I already spend like £7 a month on Netflix. Pain in the ass, right? Why should I be spending all this money on things when it's all on YouTube anyway? And YouTube has like more stuff that I don't know about. So, yeah. I just use YouTube. But then, like, I mean, people I know, like, listening to vinyls and stuff, there's no right or wrong way of doing it. It's good that we got the options. How are your driving lessons going? They're going pretty well. I've been recording videos about them. One is coming out in, like, mid-May and one's coming out at the end of May. I'm probably going to keep recording them, like, whenever I do a couple lessons and I get better, because I enjoy that kind of thing. I enjoy just trying to work out what I've learned in a way that, in a video format. So so far I'm at junctions, and I'm trying to sort out junctions and like turning from minor roads to major roads and major roads to minor roads, and that all the different contexts that come with that. Like sometimes a major road has multiple lanes and stuff, and you got to get into that middle bit so you can do the turn and stop there and find some way of getting through. And then also the confidence of turning into a major road and getting in people's way and that kind of thing, and knowing that you can do that. And a lot of driving also requires a confidence and a sort of fuck you, got mine attitude, right? Which is very useful for confidence. So yeah, I'm liking driving. I really enjoy driving. Have you listened to Bill Wirtz? Is he the guy who did like the... See, I get annoyed when I see people doing those videos. Like, imagine this, right? But I was in the car, right? Basically, every fucking YouTuber that does this sort of thing, they do it in a car. I'm sick of seeing it, right? No, I don't. If I had a reason to shoot in a car, maybe if I was doing a video about driving, or if I was doing a movie scene in a car, whatever, I would shoot in a car. But I wouldn't do like a standard Jonny Mozza video in a car just for the sake of doing it in a car. And maybe I would once, so that I could say I've done it and see why people do it. But I mean, I might set up like a little camera thing so that I can shoot out into the road if I'm driving somewhere interesting. But yeah, Bill Wirtz, I've listened to his stuff. It's interesting. It's not stuff that I like, because he goes into like the not Francie, sort of twee kind of prog rock kind of thing with a lot of piano and that kind of thing. So yeah, not keen on that. Some places it might not feel safe to shoot outside. I get a lot of people sort of going, "Oh, you're worried about your camera getting stolen." It's nearly happened twice, and that's because I was doing it in the wrong sort of places. Really, because I film in forests and stuff most of the time, in fields and parks and stuff. I put the camera in a place where I've got control over it, right? So I'm generally all right with that. Touch wood. Some places it might, yeah, exactly. Hey mate, where does your 60s, 70s influence come from? I don't know. I have no idea, to be honest. Where does it come from? Probably the fact. I don't know where it fucking comes from. I genuinely don't know. I like the idea of the past, and I think when I was growing up, a lot of the grown-ups sort of said, "Oh, everything is shit now. Everything was so much better when we were your age," sort of thing. And so I think I gravitated to the idea of being around when they were my age, aka in the sort of 60s and 70s. And I always liked the idea of growing up in those sort of times. But then, I don't know, there'd be little things that would annoy me about them. Like, you know how apparently you go to a shop and like you can't just go around the aisles and pick what you want and then go to a self-checkout. You've got to go to the counter and talk to the motherfucker and tell him what you want. Right? And I just don't want to do that. What? People keep texting me. For no reason. Okay, I don't care about any of this. All right, I'm going to wrap this up soon, but Bo Marcus has asked an interesting question. Have you taken a psychedelic? I've taken acid 3 times properly, like mega properly, right? And then I microdosed twice. Then I had one where I was on my own. Actually, I had 2 where I was on my own, but one of them, the tab didn't work. And then I had one where I had a really bad trip. So I've taken it about 8 times. I also did MDMA once when I was like 17. MDMA kind of sucks. So yeah, that's sort of my experiences of them with drugs. Despite the hair, I don't take many drugs, right? So I'm not like a mega druggy person. I just have the hair of someone who has done every fucking substance under the sun. How's it affected you? Well, the first few trips I went in with like very clear goals of what I wanted, and I took them very seriously. I did a lot of research into how psychedelics can affect you and this kind of stuff, and I was going in with a reason to evolve myself. And essentially, I don't know, not much happened, not enough happened. And now I feel like if I was to take it again, I wouldn't. Psychedelics is the topic. If I was to take psychedelics again, it would be sort of. I want something more fun and simple rather than trying to get the big epiphanies that I was trying to chase before and those extreme moments. Like I don't like all that stuff anymore. You know, that sort of feeling of being extremely, extremely high and like everything, like, you know, you look in the fucking coffee cup and you see the eye of fucking Sauron and all that sort of stuff. Don't want any of that, right? Why would I want that? Pain in the ass, right? But I do like the change in you know, the last time I took it, right, the tab didn't really work and I just enjoyed it. It was just a nice time. It was just a lovely day off, right? I remember I watched some Tom Scott videos and I just really enjoyed it. You know, there's nothing else I can get into. I just enjoyed it. I had a nice walk around the park, didn't have any existential stuff going on in the brain. It was just fine. Just a nice little time. hap or hape is good to have instead of smoking tobacco. Yeah, probably is. The thing is though, when you with a job, right? If you want to have more breaks, you smoke so you can go on a smoke break, right? So I kind of smoke for that. And like, I don't know, smoking I find quite useful in a social situation. Like I've gotten into loads of weird little social situations because I smoke and because I've been around other people who smoke. And I've been tempted to make a video on that. I just don't know how well it would be received. I can imagine, because that's if you're growing it yourself, it's almost like there's a responsibility. Yeah, centered is a good way of saying it. It's funny actually. I should have said that. It's looking into the coffee cup thing, because I swear about an hour ago I was banging on about how like coffee cups and stuff have their own conscious and all this sort of garbage, which I still do sort of semi believe. It's just the case that we can't tap into what that is. We can't know what that is. Yeah. So trying to think. Is there anything else I should bother showing you? This Uncle Mickey channel. I'll show you this, right? And this video really good, right? Love this video, fantastic. In fact, this whole channel is good. Just check them out. And I'm gonna leave it here because I'm getting a bit tired and I need to go to work soon anyway. Oh, thank you very much, HK. Thanks. I'm gonna make this the last question that I answer. Mr. Glanet says, "Are all your videos going to be put together into a movie?" I do have the idea going into the future. Maybe because like views are starting to stagnate on my videos, right? And I've got maybe a few more months of this in me, but I want to try new things, right? For instance, there's this channel called Chris Spargo, who's in a very similar niche to what I'm doing, but he goes more in a documentary, sort of political, local politics sort of thing. I'd like to do that kind of thing. Let me look it up. Yeah, he does this kind of thing. And these videos are quite good. Ignoring the ad. Fuck off. Right? It's just good stuff, right? Very simple to film, not that hard. Probably 1 or 2 takes, goes to a fun field. Does it very similarly to how I do it. The only difference is he has B-roll and an actual topic he wants to discuss. And he probably has sources and things. That's the only difference, really. I'd like to try doing that. So, and maybe more long-form ones. I had the idea of doing like 1.5 to 2 hour long videos that are the standard Jonny Mozza talking thing, but more considered with like more notes and stuff. I've never looked at Wings of Pegasus. I'm going to have a look at that now. And then I am going to hang up. Or end the stream or whatever it is. Pegasus. Okay, this is a wee guy. What are your thoughts on the critical drinker? I don't know anything about him. Is he like Mauler? Mauler did those like really long YouTube reviews that were kind of boring. All I know about critical drinker is he's kind of like that. I've not seen any of the stuff that people are asking me if I've seen. Sorry, I don't know what it is. I'm trying to find the Wings of Pegasus. Is it a woman? Oh no, it's a bloke. It's a bloke. Sorry. Oh, and he does YouTube as well. Okay. I wouldn't mind doing lives more often. The reason I'm doing this one is because I just didn't have the energy to do Jonny Mozza videos today. Oh, okay, I get it. So he's sort of like... He's like the guitarist from The Darkness, a little bit. He does YouTube as well, whatever his name is. There's a lot of videos about music and stuff. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank yous very much for, yeah, Mauler. Or maybe it was Mola, I don't know. But he did like 9-hour reviews of Star Wars and stuff, and it's not very interesting. I mean, I don't know. Let me have a look at some of his music. Where do I find his music? Does he not have a band called Wings of Pegasus? I'm not sure why I'm looking at him. I thought he was a band. Where's the band? It's all right. It sounds like he sounds like James Hetfield. He's got cover songs, which I don't care. I sound like I'm having a dig at him, but it's only because I was under the impression that he was a band, and I'm finding out he's not. But then I bet people probably say this about me. They probably look up Jonny Mozza and then just see videos of me talking, and they're disappointed. Oh well. Anyway, have a good one, guys. You're all lovely. You're all wonderful and stuff. You're all fantastic. Yeah, I'm gonna do more of this. I might do more like what I want to do eventually is hook the camera up to whatever this is recording on, you know, and do the lives from the camera, so you see it in an interesting way, and it just looks nicer than this. And you know, there's a bit less of this looking at my nose as I try and figure out what's going on, you know, on the screen. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, everybody. Have a good rest of the day or night. Yeah, take care, and bye bye.